Hello and welcome to the latest round of our Sky IndyCar debrief with the Arrow McLaren drivers. I'm delighted to be joined by Pato O'Ward, who's made it all the way back to Texas from Iowa. It's been a while since we last spoke. A lot has happened. You've had 2 podiums and a brace of top 10s as well, Pato. Just talk us through the last couple of weekends and how it sat with you.
Tom. I wish we were having a better conversation than the one that we're gonna have today. I just think we've had we are currently, I feel like, in a rough patch. We've definitely not had the results that we have been hoping for in terms of just finishing positions and just really extracting everything out of a weekend, like we were earlier on in the year. But there really hasn't, there's yesterday in Iowa was really the first time that I felt like we were, in a sense, nowhere. But it's so weird from one race to the other. We obviously I was fighting the car in the first race, but yesterday was mostly a survival, especially halfway through all the way to the end. And it's been a rough few weeks. I know we've had some podiums here and
By
there.
your standards, though, because that's testimony to where Arrow McLaren are as a team and where you are as well. Because 2 podiums in there, 3 top 10s, but in a competitive championship, by your standards, that's a rough patch. But by other drivers, other teams, that's not such a bad chain of events. But I know exactly what you mean, because looking at it from the outside, I've sort of sensed your frustration post race.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, we're here to fight for the championship, right? We've been fighting for the championship the last few years, and it just seems like we can't catch a break. There's always something that goes on, at least during our season, but it's just not one race, but it's a consequence of multiple races of just like you're in the boxing ring, you keep getting knocked down, and then you're like getting back up, and then there's another punch, and then it's like, oh, you're getting back up, and then there's another one, and then you're waiting to kind of land one on, but it's just like you're kind of like you're nailing them, but you're not really knocking someone out. But it's been that year, where it's just like, it's just,
It's
oh my
peak
God.
IndyCar. It must be super frustrating as a driver, because it's so difficult to build some momentum. So let's deep dive into Iowa, for example. Race 1, you qualified pretty well, top 5, and then it looked strong. You tracked in the right direction, came away with that 3rd place finish, and then you can make changes right overnight, and you can start to sort of maybe track in the right direction for race 2. But off the back of race 1, you must have been confident, looking also at last year's result in race 2, that you could have a really good go at Joseph Newgarden in that 2nd race.
Absolutely. I mean, the last few years it's really been a show of the Penske's versus us. And I'd be lying if I said that wasn't the objective that we had going into the weekend, or at least the baseline, to just continue getting better. And in race 1, it felt sort of different to years past. It's just not. I felt more of in kind of a defensive mode, and obviously overnight we tried to make changes to go better. No one does changes to go worse. And it felt like it was the right direction. I mean, the start of the stints weren't really much of a problem. The car felt like what we were doing to it was exactly where we needed to go. But there was just something that we can't quite understand what went on after a few laps that you would get down in a stint. It just felt like something was off.
It looked super loose as the stint went on, but it looked like you had a push at the beginning of the stint.
Yeah, like we weren't like just one way. We had both ends going off. But man, like some of those moments where I I was just happy that we finished the race.
Yeah,
Um, like, I mean, I don't know how many moments the TV got, but there was at least one every lap, and then just some of them were really when you just kind of like fast track, you're like, oh, we're in the wall, and it's like, oh my god, we're not, kind of thing. It's just it goes so fast, but the way and the way that like just the aggressiveness of the snaps, um, and the randomness, like there was just no calling for them. And like, I mean, after you have two every single lap for like 20 or 30 laps, it's like, man, I'm gonna fence this. Like
yeah.
there's
It
only
kind of
so much you can rely on, you know?
it erodes your confidence. But it's interesting from our perspective because I don't know how much of the races you've seen because you've been traveling and obviously you're fresh out the weekend. But we get to see everything. We get to hear the radio, see the other cars. Your race was super similar to Scotty Mack. So Scotty Mack tracked uh, in the right direction in race one. Then in race two, it started to go away from him from the mid stint. And his final stint, he was on the radio in that final caution saying, I have to pit. I cannot actually drive the car the final 5 laps. I will not be able to finish the race. I will put the car in the fence. And I think you had that sort of similar feeling in that last stint.
Absolutely, absolutely. And whenever we had that caution, um, the first choice was definitely we have to pit, because if not, then it was gonna be even more miserable than what it was already. It's just confusing, frustrating, weird, like all these different emotions. And I'm not the only one. I feel like everybody within the team was on the same boat, or is on the same boat, and we're gonna have to dive into look exactly what was going on, because we were supposedly, it did feel like we were making it better throughout the stints, but there was just so many random moments during the race where it's like, where has it gone? But it was a
What's the
tough
hardest
race.
bit? Looking back at the weekend, was it the deg? Was it the surface and the bumps, or was it the traffic, or was it all three things mixed together?
The problem for us was we weren't able to go through traffic well. Like every time that we would go on the high line, I was having a massive snaps, and it was really a fight to not crash every time you would go through traffic. And it's like, well, this is like an every lap kind of thing for 250 laps. And that was the most difficult part, just really getting stuck and not really being able to use a high line or something different to the guys in front of you, and you would just box yourself with dirty air because you didn't really have another choice. And it was just a really rough race. And yeah.
Just talking about the high line, the start of the second race, you and Marcus Ericsson. Did you see him, or were you just totally focused on what you were doing around the
No,
outside?
so actually, I got boxed in initially by guys in front of me, and then I've always gone on that fourth lane. And as soon as I saw an opening, I think I got past like by four guys just on the jump, because I was boxed in front, and then guys on right, left, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? And then as soon as I saw an opening, I just kind of and went flat, and I recovered those 5, 6 spots, and then got even more, which obviously was fun. Until then, I
What's that
started.
feel like? Because it looks, I mean, it's scary all the way through, right? But where it gets really difficult is when cars start coming up on the
Yeah,
exit too.
yeah. You need to rely a lot on their spotters, in a way, for them not to come up on you and smash you into the wall. But when you get to turn 3 and 4, then you cannot go for four lanes.
Yeah. We were listening on board with you and your spotter actually, and the relationship that you have, and how he was saying, you're clear on the bottom line if you need it, that kind of stuff. I can't remember what it was. One of the restarts, I think, when you were fighting with Scotty Mack, but it was really insightful to sort of listen to that, and how you've come from Europe. How difficult is it to trust. I said it's your eyes within your ears, right? Because you focused on what your instincts, but you've also got to rely on that lifeline. And when you come to IndyCar, does that happen straight away, or does that take time?
So I was used to it from Indy Lights, and Pro Mazda as well, but it definitely takes some time getting used to, because there's constantly a voice there in the corner. But then your brain just learns how to take in the information without actually focusing on it. So then it just takes in the information, and someone's there, But you always have to use your eyes first. Like, you have to be aware of who's around you.
Yeah. So before we move on from Iowa, just ask the one difficult question. Do you regret not testing there?
No, because I think it was good for us to test in Road America.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, Penske didn't test, and I mean, Joseph dominated the field. So I don't necessarily think it was, obviously a test would have helped, but in reality, I just think we went the wrong way, and there's just something that we missed. There must have been something that we missed with how the deg was, because it was a new tire, a new different tire, which obviously it wasn't as strong for us as it was in the years past. So I think it was more of an understanding of what we needed from the car together with the new tire, rather than actually
And the
testing it.
test doesn't necessarily mean that you're going in the right direction anyway. It just gives you a bit more time to make the
Exactly.
wrong choice.
So no, I don't regret it.
Yeah, fair play. Right, you're sixth in points, but it's super close ahead of you. You've got 5 weekends still to come. They're races that you go well at. Looking at the stats, top fives, you look comfortable. You had that podium at IMS earlier on in the year. What races are you targeting now for big points, or is every race now a cup final for you?
Well, Nashville has been horrible the last 2 years for us, because we always get hit. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and we can actually finish a race in Nashville. That would be fantastic. Because the pace, I feel like we've had very strong pace there. We haven't had the chance to really show it in the race. IMS road course, we had a very good race there this year, so hopefully we can repeat that, repeat a podium. St. Louis is one that we've been previously pretty strong at, so a podium there would be fantastic. And then, man, I want to end the year well. Like, Laguna is always hell for us. So now that it's repaved, hopefully tables have turned, and we're in the fight for the win. And same goes for Portland. I love Portland. I love going to that track, but I haven't quite had that IndyCar race there where it's like, that was a good one. So I'm pretty keen on closing out the year first off with at least one win, and just podiums as much as I can, and wherever that takes us in the championship, it'll be. I am. I'll be the first one to say that it's not finished until it's over. But the reality of it now is that really, Palau has ran away from us personally, in my opinion, and we should really be striving for, obviously to try and gain as many positions in the championship as we can. But I think, if we close out this year in a solid top 3 in the championship, considering how much crap we've had in multiple races recently, I'd say that is a pretty damn good recovery.
Yeah, and I think, buses, I say buses, wins are like a London bus. So we have this saying in the UK that you wait ages for a bus, and then when one bus comes, they all come at the same time. And that's very much like a win in motorsport. You get one win, and then all of a sudden you're sort of campaign, your momentum can change rapidly. So just before Nashville, you're in Texas at the moment, you're back at home. What are you going to be doing between now and Nashville? What's in the diary for Pato O'Ward?
I'm going to the beach with my boys, bro. I'm
Can
gonna
you
go.
surf?
No, but I like to do like the jetpack and the jet skis, and I like to go fishing, and I like to just be in the sun, be in the water, just have a laugh with my mates, and just have a good time, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do this weekend.
So you're going to the beach. Is that a lake or is that...
Beach, proper beach in Punta Mita, Mexico. It's 50 minutes from Puerto Vallarta.
Okay, nice. I won't
Yeah.
try and replicate the pronunciation there because I will make a hash of it. Right, Pato, you've been a wonderful guest. As always, we love speaking to you on these Sky IndyCar Arrow McLaren debriefs. You can watch how Pato gets on and the rest of the IndyCar field at Nashville. That's coming up live on Sky Sports, as it always is, and that will be race day on August the 6th.